Alright, this is an emergency message for 11 Life Paths. Thought I'd make this because recently I've been speaking to my 11 Life Paths, and believe it, we have so many parallels going on as 11 Life Paths. Like, we have so many connections that, like, it's weird. We're being tested in a very similar way. Wherever you are, whether you're in Toronto, Chicago, LA, London, New York, wherever you are in the world, okay? Africa, wherever you are, okay? Just know if you're an 11, you're from a certain spiritual tribe, okay? Let me tell you this again. If you're an 11, you are from a spiritual tribe. Okay, you have to understand, we're so connected. We're so connected. Now let me tell you guys a story that just happened like a couple of days ago, okay? So I went to this event, and I think I dreamed this before it even happened, actually. So this is why it was so weird, because I went to this event, and someone just couldn't hold back anymore. Someone just had to show me their true colors. Like, they couldn't resist it. They're just like, they had to, like, they were just waiting for me to say almost like anything, like, for them to just tell me how they feel about me. Okay, so we're right now living in Kali Yuga, okay, which is like, basically we're like in a very dark cycle, which is like just the truth, okay? So I want y'all to know this. Don't be surprised, like, don't be shocked if you have people coming out and just explicitly telling you that they don't mess with you. One more thing I want to tell you guys. People love us. People tend to love us. People tend to want to talk to us. I get messages almost every single day from my YouTube. People message me on Instagram, thanking me, showing me love, and I appreciate it so much. But I'm going to tell you guys something. The people that despise you, they won't be able to hold themselves back anymore. They just won't. Even if that's a partner, if that's someone, unfortunately, if that's someone in a family. Okay, let me tell you something, okay? I don't know if you guys know what happened to Joseph, but Joseph had, like, I think it was like 11 brothers or 9, some number of brothers that threw him in the well. Okay, what do we learn from that, especially being 11 life paths? What do we learn from that? What we learn is that what's happening over there, like in the Bible and the Quran, is basically like a parallel to our own lives. I want you guys to pay very close attention to what I just told you. What's happening in scriptures could really be a parallel to our lives and what's going on in today's, like, pharaonic structure, like the age that we live in today. So I want you guys to pay attention, close attention to what I'm telling you, okay? All my 11 life paths. This is an emergency message. Again, I'm telling you, this is an emergency broadcast. You guys need to start really putting on barriers. See, that was a mistake that I think I made, because I think I had a dream about this, okay? Now, I don't remember all of my dreams, but for a lot of my dreams, like, I do remember, like, some parts of them very, like, good, you know? And I think the way the Most High makes these dreams for me is that he makes me remember, like, the most important parts of those dreams, and, like, I take a lesson from those dreams, and I'm like, okay, like, this is what's actually happening with me and what's going on, okay? And if you're 11 life path man and you're unable to dream right now, right, that most likely has to do with your sexual energy. Transmute that energy, retain and transmute as much as you possibly can, okay? That's for my other videos. You can go have a look at that. But if you right now, again, I told you this is an emergency meeting right now, okay? If you have people that are close, like close to you, whether that's family or friends, and by the way, you know what's so strange? If you look at the word friend, right? The word friend has end in it. You can't spell friend without end. Okay? People have to know this stuff. Like, I want to make a whole different video on just etymology of words and how words can be curses, okay? This is why I'm going to be honest, I don't even like telling people that I have friends. I just don't like it. I just like, I'll call you an acquaintance, or I'll say that I know you, or I really mess with you, or I like you as a person. But calling someone your friend, like, just know you're putting a certain energy out. Because again, you can't spell friend without end. It's there. It's in the words, okay? It's in the word. Now, protect your energy at all costs, because I feel like the time that we're going in, and because you're an 11 life path and you've done this over and over and over and over again, and you just know the drill, you just know how it goes, like, you just know it. Like, you're so intuitive, like, it's scary. But if you're this intuitive and you still choose to put your hand in the fire, if you're, see, this is what I mean. This is like the temptation of this life. This is like, sometimes you guys might just feel a little alone or something, and you might be like, oh, like, because we are very, like, a lot of us don't like talking to a lot of people, or we don't go to a lot of events, or we just like our own spaces, own space. But like, when something does show up and we think that it has meaning to it, but in our gut we know that something strange might happen, and we still choose to engage in it. Like, for example, if there's a wedding going on, like, now, who doesn't like going to a wedding, right? I don't sometimes. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just don't. I just skip some weddings sometimes, because I'm like, what am I gonna go do there? I'm gonna go to the wedding and people are gonna start talking about politics, people are gonna start talking about the economy, or people are gonna start talking about, like, peculiar things that I'm not really a big, advocate of, or I don't really, it's not my cup of tea. Actually, I don't really drink tea. Cup of coffee, I should say. It's just talking about coffee. I gotta get a sip of coffee right now, because, yeah, sorry. Oh, what that coffee does. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Okay. My whole point being said right now, guys, like, we're going into a very strange energy, and don't be shocked if, like, don't be shocked if these people show their true colors, because you know what's scary? I'll tell you something. Here's what's scary. People can pretend to really like you, or laugh with you, break bread with you, but then you don't even, like, but then you deep inside know that this person's like a snake. It's so hard for people to hide that. Like, it's very, like, it's scary how intuitive 11s are. It's just, it's a little scary, because we just know. We, like, you can't, like, I don't, it's very hard for other people to hide things from us. Like, we just catch your vibe very fast. Like, even if you fake a smile, we know you're holding a knife behind your back. Like, we just know it. Like, yeah. I know you're smiling right now, but my psychic abilities are telling me you're holding a knife. Or Let's be a little optimistic right now, okay? Let's be a little optimistic. Or someone might come off very like rude to you, but you know this person loves you. You know what I mean? Like in all reality, someone. And another thing is with 11s, guys, like we tend to misunderstand some people sometimes, you know. Sometimes people don't mean bad for us. They're just they're coming with good intentions. They're trying to help us, but because most 11s are so sensitive, like I've spoken to so many 11s now, so many, and I've noticed that so many 11s are sensitive, and I'm an 11 myself too, right? And I get it because I'm an 11, but you have to understand that that's your test. Like that is your test. Like if you're just gonna be like, oh, this person keeps on freaking getting to my head. Look, come on, come on. Like, like you gotta gotta take a puff right now. Can't be that sensitive. Can't be that sensitive. Yeah, if someone's really fucking with you, like if someone's really like starting to, pardon my French by the way, if someone's really like um talking to you and then they're manipulating you and then they ghost you out of nowhere, then yeah, you should probably break ties with that person, because you do not need any manipulators in your life. You do not need people that are fucking talking to you when it's rainbow and sunshines, and once you're in a fucking pitfall, they're like, oh, like ha ha ha. You know what I mean. Beware, like a lot of people are, most likely people just can't right now, the way we're living in right now, like 11s, like you just have to understand, because you're so bright, you just, I want you to do more research on this topic. You can go watch more videos on this, but you have to know, like, again, like I talk about this 11, look at the number 11. These are all pictographs. Pictographs are basically like numbers and alphabets. The way they look, right, they have a certain meaning to them. For example, the number 5. Okay, if you look at 5, it's opening from one place and it's opening from another place. This is why people that have 5 life paths, they're open to change, or they love to travel, like they love to experience new things. Now if you look at the number 1, and if you put 2 ones together, it looks like a portal. So because you're like moving in and out of, like, you don't move in and out of dimensions, you perceive dimensions. Okay, you perceive them differently. That's another misconception too. People think that, oh, you're moving in and out. No, you're perceiving different dimensions. But because you're perceiving different dimensions, people start to notice that, and people start to notice that you're way more knowledgeable than a lot of other people. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying, a lot of other people have knowledge too, but I'm not saying you're better than anyone. No way. Okay. But because you have so much knowledge and you start to speak to other people and they're like, they can't handle it, like they just, it's hard for people to, you know, I don't know if you've guys heard this, people like to do good, but people don't like, people would want you to do good, but people don't want you to generally do better than them. Okay, that was very 11 for me to say generally. That was very kind for me to say that. But that's just the truth. That, like, it's legitimately just the truth. Most folks don't want you to do better than them. Okay, you have to accept that's the reality. Okay, and when you speak to a lot of people and you drop all this knowledge on them, most people can't handle it. Most people cannot handle it. Now, especially if you're an 11 life path that is taking care of their nutrition, you're exercising, you're staying kind, you're in gratitude. See, the thing is, like, what you put in your mouth is a big indication of who you externally are. Okay, now, you being someone that's healthy, as an 11, you won't be able to connect with people that are not taking care of themselves. It's just not possible. It's really not. Okay. This is why once you're fully in your element, like once you're fully tapped into your 11 energy, okay, you'll just notice that there will be folks that will try to challenge you on certain issues. But when you're in your element, when you're tapped into your 11 energy, inner chi, when you're fully tapped in, you'll just realize very, very quickly that most people cannot handle you. I shouldn't say most, but people that try to challenge you, like, they'll just get very frustrated when they can't actually win, and they'll start to probably scream at you or start calling you names or something. It's a little sad, but it is what it is. You've got to accept it. Like, you've got to accept it that you're very gifted. And most people, like, if you are that gifted, most people are gonna be like, wow, how does he or she do it? But a lot of people don't know what we've been through as 11 life paths. This is why majority of us, like all of us, I've seen the pattern over and over and over and over again, have had a very, very dark experiences in our childhood or in our teenager years. I was talking to 11 life path guy, and this was the only guy that told me that he's never experienced, he has not never, but he hasn't had a hard life. But then I asked him, like, what were some things that you, what are some challenges that you had? And I think he said something like he experienced someone like suicide in front of him or something like that. And I'm just like, what the I'm like, yo, that sounds pretty, like, that sounds, wow, like, it sounds like you've had a hard life. And I kind of made him think about it, and he's like, oh yeah, I probably did actually. And I'm like, yeah, like, you did. So that's another thing to remember. But in this video, just know, just know, protect your energy at all cost, because most people right now, the age that we're going into, probably won't be, people just can't. People just can't. They'll, people, you will experience, or you are, let me make it clear, you are probably experiencing people that are showing you their true colors. That's about it. Anyways, have yourself a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are. Take care. 11 life paths. Take care.